Have you ever stood before a ruin so old, so massive, that it feels like time itself is holding its breath? Imagine walking through the heart of the Egyptian desert as the sun rises, casting gold across the face of the Great Pyramid. You look up and realize that over 2 million stone blocks, each weighing as much as a truck, were somehow lifted, placed, and aligned with a precision we can barely replicate today. No cranes, no bulldozers, no lasers, just stone, sweat, and something else. Something we still don't understand. The ancient world is scattered with these anomalies. Stone temples carved from single mountains, megaliths transported hundreds of miles without a wheel, underground cities bored through volcanic rock. Across continents and cultures, before the rise of written history, people were building things that shouldn't have been possible. And yet, they did. The deeper we dig, the stranger the story becomes. Let's start in Baalbek, Lebanon. Amid the ruins of a Roman temple complex lies a forgotten mystery: the stone of the pregnant woman. It's not just big, it's absurd. Over 1,000 tons. That's more than the weight of 4 fully loaded Boeing 747s. And yet someone, or something, cut this block from a quarry, moved it, and tried to position it for use. We still don't know how. Our best modern cranes struggle to lift such weight. The Romans, for all their ingenuity, didn't claim to place it. In fact, they seem to have built around it. So who put it there, and why? Across the ocean, in the highlands of Peru, lies another enigma. Sacsayhuaman, a fortress built from massive stones, some over 100 tons, fitted together with jigsaw precision. Not even a sheet of paper can slip between them. No mortar, no glue, just impossibly accurate cuts in stone, like butter. Engineers have examined the site for decades and still can't explain how the Inca, or whoever came before them, managed such craftsmanship. The angles aren't just complex, they're three-dimensional puzzles, locked into each other like a giant, prehistoric Rubik's Cube. Now, here's where it gets strange. Some of these sites show signs of vitrification. That's a fancy word for melted. The outer layers of stone appear glassy, as if exposed to extreme heat, temperatures hotter than any wood-burning fire could ever reach. This has led to theories ranging from lightning strikes to ancient plasma weapons. Sounds crazy? Perhaps. But consider this. In India, the city of Mohenjo-Daro, built nearly 5,000 years ago, was found with skeletons lying in the streets, holding hands, as if some cataclysm struck instantly. Radiation levels in the area were reportedly higher than normal, and portions of the city show signs of sudden, intense heat, the kind that fuses sand into glass. The official explanation? Silence. We're told these were natural disasters, or accidents. But what kind of accident leaves vitrified streets and unburied corpses frozen mid-step? Let's rewind even further. Göbekli Tepe, Turkey. Before Stonehenge, before the pyramids, before civilization as we know it, a group of hunter-gatherers built a temple 12,000 years ago. Let that sink in. That's twice as old as the wheel. The stones at Göbekli Tepe are massive and intricately carved, depicting animals, symbols, and unknown patterns of meaning. There were no cities then, no agriculture, no written language, just nomadic tribes, and yet they built something that would take modern machinery, planning, and architecture to even attempt. Then, for reasons unknown, they buried it. On purpose, the site was deliberately covered under tons of earth, preserved like a time capsule until rediscovered in the 1990s. Why would anyone bury such a monumental structure? What were they hiding or protecting? The mysteries don't end there. Travel east to the heart of China, and you'll find the Longyu Caves. Hidden beneath a quiet village, These hand-carved caverns plunge deep into solid sandstone, their walls etched with uniform, mysterious markings. No historical records mention them. No one knows who carved them. They were discovered by accident in the 1990s, when villagers drained a pond and found stairs descending into stone. There are no signs of tools, no debris, no soot, nothing to explain how such a feat was accomplished. 36 caves, all interconnected, all cut with geometric precision. By whom? And for what? Now, some argue it's all exaggerated, that the ancients were clever, organized, and had more time than we do. That with enough effort and manpower, even the Great Pyramid is possible, maybe. But why do so many of these ancient marvels align with celestial events? The Great Pyramid's sides are almost perfectly aligned to true north. The megaliths of Stonehenge track solstices. The temples of Angkor Wat mirror the constellation Draco. The Nazca lines, carved into Peru's desert, only make sense from the sky. The sky. Why were so many ancient builders obsessed with the stars? Was it religious, ceremonial, or directional? According to legend, the Dogon people of Mali knew about Sirius B, an invisible star companion to Sirius, long before telescopes could detect it. They described its orbit, its density, and its characteristics with eerie accuracy. Knowledge, they claim, came from visitors, star people, who came down in ships made of fire. Myth? Maybe. But time and again, we encounter cultures with knowledge that shouldn't have existed. Advanced astronomy, geometry, acoustics. In the Great Pyramid, certain chambers resonate at precise frequencies, frequencies that affect the human brain. Coincidence? Or could it be that ancient builders weren't just stacking stones, but tuning space? Imagine buildings as machines, not just places of worship or shelter, but devices that harness energy, focus sound, track time. A global grid of sacred architecture designed not just for survival, but for interaction with the cosmos. Too much? Then consider this. Modern scientists admit we still don't fully understand how the ancients quarried and moved stones so massive. There are no complete blueprints, no conclusive explanations. And where explanations exist, they often raise more questions. Easter Island's Moai statues, for example, were said to walk into place. That's the local legend. And in 2000, researchers actually made one walk by rocking it with ropes. So maybe that one's solved. But why did they carve them with massive, unseen bodies buried beneath the earth? What were they hiding below? Why does almost every ancient culture, separated by oceans and centuries, have myths about giants, gods from the sky, great floods, lost golden ages? Are these stories symbolic or historical? We like to think of history as a straight line, cave dwellers to pyramids to skyscrapers. But what if it isn't a line? What if it's a cycle? What if a great civilization came before us, one with knowledge, with tools, with a deeper understanding of the earth and stars, and was lost? Plato spoke of Atlantis not as a myth, but as a memory. Ancient Indian texts describe flying machines, vimanas, and city-destroying weapons. The Aboriginal Dreamtime speaks of sky beings who shaped the land. Even the Bible mentions the Nephilim, giants who walked the earth. So here's the question that echoes through stone and silence. What did the ancients know that we've forgotten? We dismiss the idea that they were more advanced, not because it's impossible, but because it makes us uncomfortable, because it means we are not the peak, because it means history is bigger, deeper, stranger than we're taught. But maybe it's time we stop looking down at the past and start looking back in awe, because hidden in the dust of fallen temples, beneath jungle canopies and desert sands, the ancients are still speaking. We just have to learn how to listen,